Well, hello there, Cheyenne, Denise, Val, Moon at Noon, Roger Blair. Let's see here. We can't turn that a little bit. Here we go. It's a little bit better. Oh, Liana, Cindy, Walsis, Cassie. Nice to see you there. How you doing there, Kelly Joe?
I'm doing good.
Good. Well, go ahead.
I thought that we'd do urban legends, so I'll read them, and if anybody has something to say it in the chat room, and we'll.
Awesome. Hello, Rosemary and everybody. Nice to see everybody tonight.
Yes, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Absolutely.
Well, there's Dooley Town. There's an Erie Town, Connecticut, locals refer to as Dark Vortex. Rumor has it that if a visitor steals an artifact from the area, they will have a horrible curse upon them. Moreover, visitors have reported seeing orbs of light, wolfish black shadows, hearing disembodied voices, and the topper is a mysterious group that calls themselves the Dark Forest Association that patrol the grounds. It's like, I never heard of that before. Arizona skinwalkers. Driving through a desolate desert at night is creepy enough. However, throw in a shape-shifting half-human monster into the mix, and you're bound to be scared silly. Arizona skinwalker urban legend has become entrenched in the state's culture, and back in 1987, when a Navajo woman was found brutally murdered in Flagstaff, the defense team said that the gruesome attack could have been committed by a skinwalker.
That's interesting. Hello, Eric.
Seven Gates of Hell. Through the state of Pennsylvania may be scenic. It can also be super spooky. The Seven Gates of Hell is a modern tale that centers around a burned down asylum in a heavily wooded area in York County. People claim that anyone who passes through all the seven gates is sent straight to hell. Okay, I won't go there. The Watcher, a New Jersey urban legend, is the creepiest. It got its fame in 2015. The Watcher is a tale of a young family moving into their dream home in Westfield. Shortly after they've settled in, they began receiving anonymous letters signed The Watcher. The writer claimed that it was his duty to watch over the house and filed the letters with chilling lines such as, "Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested?" Even worse, inhabitants of the house are still receiving all the creepy letters today.
Oh, Denise is asking you, Kelly Joe, can you tell us something about shapeshifters? Wow.
Well, the Navajo, I'm not an expert, but the Navajo had a fight with what? The Ute?
I think so, yes.
And the Ute ended up doing a curse on the Hopi out there, and they sent shapeshifters to pay him back. And basically, it's half animal, half human, can morph into anything, and it's negativity. And the Navajos won't even mention its name because it can, attach itself to you and do harm to you.
That's crazy.
Synopsis of what I know and what I've heard. Don't quote me because I am not an expert. So, but there's all kinds of weird things out there. I mean, you can be driving on in the desert road that's out there, and you'll see stuff cross the road. You'll see shadows. You'll see rocks move, you'll see, a man walking, and then it will turn into like a wolf, and shadows and weird. It's weird out there.
Wow.
And the rocks move too. So I know people think I'm making it up, but it's true. I've seen them do it. I'll have to do some research, and I'll get more in depth in it, and I'll let you guys know. I don't have the true facts with me right now, but I'll make sure I do that for one of the shows. Here's the old Bloody Mary thing. You say it in the mirror 3 times and she appears. And let's see. In the earliest versions of the tale, the story goes, unwed woman would see the face of the man she'd marry in glass if she said that. However, if she was destined to die alone, she would see a skull. And it eventually evolved into something more sinister when they would see Bloody Mary's face of an evil spirit. If you dare summon her.
I don't know. They made movies about it. I would never try it.
Oh, when you're kids, you do all kinds of stupid stuff. The 13th child, or the Jersey Devil. Way back in 1735, a woman who lived in the expansive woods of New Jersey, secluded pine barrens, cursed the birth of her 13th child. Born a freak of nature, a back-wing and cloven-hooved creature has been terrorizing the area ever since. Sightings became so widespread that it's rumored that the Philadelphia Zoo posted $10,000 reward for the capture of the beast. So there's that one. And then there's the Chupacabra, legendary monster said to roam the deserts of New Mexico, resembles a bear-sized dog with spikes along its back, glowing eyes, and can fly and sucks blood out of cattle and other livestock. It's called the goat sucker. That's right. What Chupacabra means.
Joanne Stewart's asking, Kelly Joe, do you think the government blamed shape-shifting to cover up their secrets?
Do you think the
government blames shape-shifting to cover up the government secrets?
No. I believe that there's something out there like that. I don't know if any of you watch what is it, the History Channel? They have people on Skinwalker Ranch out there in Arizona doing experiments and stuff.
Right.
So, and that's been a show for a while, and it's very interesting. The licked hand. Well, we'll see what this is. If you're a pet lover, skip on to the next tale. The brutal urban legend depicts a scared young girl who's spending the night home alone for the first time. While trying to sleep, she hears an ominous dripping noise coming from the bathroom. Too spooked to investigate, she curls up under the covers, reaching down to find assurance in her faithful dog that licks her hand from the floor. Next morning, she decides to investigate the strange sound and hear her beloved pet was slaughtered, and the terrifying message was written in blood again across the bathroom wall. Humans can lick hands too. Ugh. I never heard of that. Have you?
No, I haven't.
There is the Bunny Man. What an adorable name. Bunny Man is anything but a dude from Virginia. Bunny Man dresses up as a rabbit, and kills people with an axe. There's also an entire bridge named after the Bunny Man, the Bunny Man Bridge. Around Halloween time, the guy's said to go around skinning innocent rabbits and hanging their bodies on the bridge.
Wow.
These are all urban legends. Some of them are pretty gory. Ew. I didn't read it before I printed them off. I apologize. Let's see what else there is. The Hook. Creepier than legend tells the story of a serial killer with a hook hand. The slasher would attack couples in parked cars in remote areas. One time, the couple heard a scraping sound, and then they drove off in fear. They're the only ones supposedly that survived. Okay. The spider bite. One that surely keeps you up at night. As the story goes, a woman is traveling to a foreign country, returns home with a pimple on her face, and despite her many attempts to alleviate it, it turns into a huge boil, and then one night hundreds of spiders come out of it.
I think they make a movie of that. I saw it.
I think so. I think they did. Maybe, what was it, arachnids or something like that?
Yeah, something.
Don't quote me. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there. Then there's the Screaming Jenny. Jenny, a poor woman with no family, lived along the B&O Railroad in Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. One day she was warming up both over a campfire, and a spark flew from the fire and caught her dress on fire. As Jenny screamed for help, the fire grew bigger, engulfing her in flames. In the last chance attempt, she fell into the train tracks trying to get attention of the approaching trains, but the train conductor didn't see her. Some say you can still hear her at night. Well, that was icky. Mercy Brown and the New England Vampire Panic. Say that fast 500 times. During the 1800s, Rhode Island people believed that tuberculosis was caused by the dead consuming their surviving family members. There was only one way to deal with the sort of vampire activity. They would dig up the remains of the dead, burn the bodies, but the most famous instance was Mercy Brown. Mercy's whole family got tuberculosis, and it was assumed that she caused it to happen. So they went to her grave and dug her up, but they were sure that she was a vampire because there was little signs of decomposition, and the body appeared to have changed positions. There is scientific explanations for this, but still, they deemed her a vampire. The grave site remains one of the spookiest places in Rhode Island as of yet. Well, that has sort of a true thing to it, because there was like superstition back then, because, blood would come out of their mouth when they had tuberculosis.
Yeah, that's right.
So they thought they were vampires.
Unbelievable.
The Petrified Forest. Escalante Petrified Forest in Utah is one of the most beautiful state parks in the U.S. It also has a truly sinister urban myth. People believe that if you leave the Escalante Petrified Forest with a piece of its wood, you'll be cursed with bad luck for the rest of your life. Where there's no proof that the legend is true, people have sent their pieces back to the park saying it brought them bad luck.
I hear a lot of people do get bad luck taking things.
Well, you don't take stuff, I can't say this right. Minnewashi-Itu monster, or the Missouri River monster, is one of the North Dakota urban legend that sprang In the spring, the creature swims upriver, breaking up the leftover ice of the previous winter. The story goes that if you see North Dakota's most legendary monster in broad daylight, they say that it can make you go insane.
Wow.
And well, there's our legends, guys. What'd you think of those? I'm sure
That's
there's
pretty
more.
interesting.
Does anybody know of any legends that you've heard of? Well, we used to tease about the 3 knocks. You know, if you do 3 knocks, you can have a spirit come back.
And Tim says you can have a clean picture of Bigfoot or anything that says it's not real. If you try to put it on a TV show, people can shoot you down. Well, that's true. So, but I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of things out there that people used to say back in the day. So,
well, I mean, look at, the Jersey Devil. Look at, people go hunting for that. There's, haunted spaces, like look at the Winchester House. That's real.
right.
Sometimes a lot of the urban legends are mixed in with superstitions too.
Yeah, I think we talked about the Winchester House last Friday. Yeah. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, because they say that they can hear the workers work and people talking and
Right.
and she built supposedly she built it to confuse the spirits
Of the dead that's been killed by her husband's rifle. Yes.
Just their rifles. Yeah.
Agent Smith says, does any of you remember through them talking about in Chattanooga, Tennessee, somewhere where people said to have experience of zombies roaming around? The only thing I remember people with zombies was the people in New York that were eating people that were allegedly dead because of the DOC, which was DRUG. And they had problems with that, I think, 10 or 15 years ago. So, but yes. But that was up in New York.
Wow. Okay. That was because of the
substance they were on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were out of their heads.
Yes. So.
That happened down here too, because people were doing weird stuff But
what are they talking about? Pole dancing champions. Where are y'all coming from? Where I must have missed that conversation.
I don't know what they're talking about. I don't get it.
Yeah, Eric. Yeah, I remember that because man, that terrorized the country. So Kingston, PA also has a lot of so-called zombies. Now there is a new substance, we can't say the word, that is more deadly than fentanyl. And it has been noted in 9 states, and they are worried about that. It's more deadly than fentanyl. So, yes, be on the lookout for that. Let's see here. Are you from Poland? No, I'm from America. Anyways.
But it's fun to have, like the all the different, I'm sure that there's other cultures that have different legends and stuff too. I mean, look at Santa Claus. He's like a urban legend.
And didn't that start in what country that started in? I can't remember.
I don't remember either. It was some northern country, Saint Nicholas,
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And then there's also the bad Santa that is Krampus. He'd take little kids and run away with them if they were bad. That's another urban legend. then the don't go in the woods and a Wendigo would go get you. You know, that's to make sure. And trolls and stuff like that scare the kids to be good, not run off.
Yeah, right.
I mean, look at Grimm's fairy tales.
Yeah.
They weren't nice. They were the original ones are horrible.
Oh, yeah. Brian Barber says yes. Welcome, audio. You remember the show Dark Truth, where the guy was using pufferfish venom to make zombies in another country? Yes.
Yes.
I remember that, using them as slaves.
Yep. They'd blow it in their face. And then there was something rainbow. It was a show. It was a movie, and it was about the use of making people into zombies. Something rainbow.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Now, recently we covered, I think last Sunday, the lady that was in hospice, and she passed away, and she was pronounced clinically dead, and they sent her to the funeral home, and dispatch got a 911 call, and they did not know how to handle it. The sheriff's department got involved. And the funeral home called 911 because they were getting ready to embalm her. And the guy was like, she's breathing. The guy was like, no, she ain't. The guy's like, she's breathing. Don't you jab her. They're like, no, she ain't breathing. You're just seeing things. The guy was like, no, look at her. She's breathing.
Wow.
Yes. And she was alive. And if that guy would not have said something, they were going to jab her. And the sheriff's department and the prosecutor didn't know what to do.
Wow.
And the family was already in mourning. And they were already, it was bad. It was bad. That made the national news, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? Yes, we actually played the video. We actually played the sheriff's department. The sheriff, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to handle it.
Wow.
They never got a 911 call like that. So Eric says that happens more than what she's saying. And that's what Tim just said too. But to go on the news, that was wild.
Wow.
So Denise says that we had 2 incidents like that here, pronounced dead and woke up at the that is crazy.
Wow.
That's why they embalm people. So that stuff doesn't happen.
Wow.
So, but
look in the old days, they had bells on the graves.
Yes.
So with a rope, if you woke up, and they also had people that sat by the bell, hear the bell to get the people out.
Yes.
In the day.
So, yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy. And that guy wouldn't sit there because, a lot of people, you see that in funeral homes. When you look at a body long enough, you think it's moving when it's not. And the guy that was with the guy that was going to jab the body said it's moving. It's breathing. The guy's like, no, it's not. You're just seeing that. Poor guy.
Yeah. Well, and dead people, I mean, I used to be a CNA, and we had to take the dead people down to the morgue, and I was training a new nurse, for CNA, and they'll sit up, they'll moan,
yes, they will.
They'll moan, their eyes will open and close, they'll raise their arms, they'll raise their leg, other parts will raise, and that girl, we went down there, and the one stood up and moaned and raised its arm. She ran out that door and never came back. Screaming all the way.
Yes, that is pretty interesting. So,
but yeah, we always had like a triple check system, with our people, when I was a CNA way back in the day.
Back in the old days too, they had glass coffins.
Right.
where you can look in them, not solid glass, but like portals
Right.
where you can look in them.
Right.
So I'm just saying, hello, Amy. Welcome to the show.
And
I don't
that's
know.
and that's why they had a viewing for a few days too. In
Welcome,
the
Kyle.
movies.
But can you imagine them calling the family 4 hours later and be like, "Well, we had to tell you this, but your wife, your grandmother, your aunt, your cousin, your great aunt
He's still alive.
was, it's not funny." But I mean, the sheriff's department they were just perplexed. Well, we don't know how to handle this, ladies and gentlemen. We never in our career have ever come across this. So that's just bad. But I felt sorry for hospice and the nursing home.
Right.
So,
It's like, oopsie, somebody didn't check good.
well, my mom thought her grandmother died at her house during a storm. And she got a mirror out and put it underneath her nose.
Right.
And you know what? Because what that calls is see if you got any moisture or any fog.
Coming out. Right.
And she didn't get nothing. And she called my dad at work, and she's like, "Oh my God, she passed. What the hell? She's gone." And she turned around and what the hell? Do you think I died or something?
Oh, jeez.
I think it was her dad's mom. Yeah, that was funnier than hell. I mean, she got nothing on the mirror. I mean, I was just a little kid or something, but that was funny when she told me. But yeah, remember they used mirrors back then. So, Agent Smith, I was taught if you give something enough energy, that something can come forward and food manifests itself in our realm. Yes. I never heard of that. The mirror needs to know. Yes, Amy, absolutely. Hey, go next time you go fix your hair or put makeup on or go did yourself, put a mirror underneath your nose. See what happens.
Right.
Photos is laughing. It works. Denise says, yes, Amy, it does. So, Brian, don't you dare put a mirror underneath my nose. I'll crack you at your house this week. I'll crack you. Yes, Kyle, this is Kelly Jo, the psychic. Absolutely. She just did a off spin of something different. You never know what you're going to walk into Kelly's show. Welcome, Agent Smith. I'm glad you're here. I haven't seen you well. Hopefully everything's good. Does anybody know the urban legend, the dark ride? It's a small world after all in the Disney parks. I've heard about that. I don't know, but that guy that is like 54 years old, they did a special on him. He's been to Disney World over 2,500 and something days in a row.
Wow.
Every day he gets off of work, he goes to Disney World. I don't know what's wrong with him. Have y'all heard about him? He made the national news last week.
Wow.
I need to Google him. And it's like, something right. I mean, does he got a wife and kids? Anyways, Eric says they also cover up mirrors when somebody guesses because they suck your soul in.
They can get stuck in the mirror.
Yes, that's right, Eric. Agent Smith, Brian, you have just blown my mind. You just blow my mind. What'd Brian do? Brian, you better not put a mirror underneath my nose. I'm telling you, you are warned. But no, they used to do stuff like that. So,
I don't know what the dark ride is. I haven't heard of that. But I've heard another myth is the person in the back, a ghost in the back seat of your car. That's another urban myth.
Yeah, I forgot what's the name of that road where the girl got killed and she's always trying to hitchhike. I don't remember the name of that road.
Right.
So
yeah, and then there's the girl in the wedding dress, and then there's the girl in the blue dress, the prom queen that got killed in a carriage with her lover.
Right. Kyle asked, Kelly, if I ask, please, if good will come, matey, if I get my stuff together.
Yeah, you're working on a whole bunch of stuff. It'll probably take you a good 6 months to get yourself together. And then after that, it'll be all. I mean, life isn't going to be peaches and cream, but it'll be better in 6 months.
Amy says, I've heard of the small world of ghosts at Disney since the 70s. I've heard that too, Amy, but I heard it's kept hush hush. So I don't know how true that is. Maybe brother's trying to scare us. Denise, my fiance, passed away. My brother-in-law saw him in the back of his car. That is commonly done
Yes.
because they're easily seen in reflections of mirror. I don't know why that is. Why is that, Kelly Jo?
Well, because it's easier to do it that way instead of popping right up in your face. You'd go blasting out the car and wreck.
So that's interesting.
You know, it's easier to do it that way. You know, like you see things out the corner of your eye, you know, or come to you in a dream and stuff like that. Yes.
Somebody else unknown last year said their family member came back when they were driving and they saw them in the rearview mirror. Eric says, I don't want to see my dad in the back seat. Now you say that, but I don't know. It would probably scare me at first. Agent Smith, I've received phone calls from the other side. A lot of people do, Agent Smith.
I have too. And I used to live in a house and I'd get phone calls from a mental institution that was closed down way back in the 1950s.
Audio, baby, it's easier because it slowed down the speed of light. Baby, it's easier because it slows down the speed of light. I don't know what that means.
How you get spirits on audio. I think that's what they're talking about.
Oh. Kyle, does anyone have genuine love for me or is it all basic? No, everybody loves you, Kyle. We all go through rough times in life. We got a very loving audience in here in chat. They all support each other.
No judgment zone. You know, if you're human, you're going to mess up, you know, but forgive yourself and go on.
Absolutely.
That's part of learning.
Curtis, I think the reflection in mirrors are actually a different dimension. I've heard that too, Curtis. Would the mirror be easier to manifest than trying to be a 3D in the back seat?
Right.
Brian?
That's what I just said. Yeah.
I don't know what you're concocting up before I get up there, Brian. You better be careful. He just passed away and I'm not ready for that. Oh, I'm sorry to know that, Eric. I did not know that.
He'll probably come to you in a dream when you're ready. Go
ahead.
You use dreams because it's easier and you're more quiet. What?
Amy says, I've seen many ugly things about Disney. Very many things that are ugly. I've heard that too, Amy. Brian says, my phone rang and caller ID showed my dad's phone number.
Wow.
Yes, I've heard that. Shelby's grandfather, actually his cell phone number, I think certain cable companies have caller ID where it comes across your TV and his name and his cell phone number came up not too long after he passed. That was interesting.
Well, you can't miss that.
No. And Lorna says, I really have a phone call instead of seeing somebody in my back seat. So, Curtis, that's interesting. I remember David Eckhart. He uses mirror to catch those dimensional entities. Yes, he did. That is correct. So, you're welcome, Kyle.
Well, mirrors can cause a portal, you know, so that you can go in and out.
My sister wrote a whole paper backwards in high school, handwritten. Wow. Handwritten, I am from the mirror, took time, teacher impressed. I couldn't even do that.
Oh, I used to have, when I was a kid in first grade, I wrote all my papers backwards.
What?
Yep. They took me to the doctor. There wasn't anything wrong with me.
Wow.
And you could hold it up to a mirror and read it. I did that for a whole year of school.
How can you? Now, I know people that can walk up to glass and write backwards. And I don't know how you can do it just perfectly, not even think about it. So,
I mean, I couldn't do it today, but back then it was just easy. Just I wrote and didn't even realize I was doing anything weird.
that is wild. And they're making fun of me. So, yeah. Yeah, so I'm actually working on, I was telling Kelly Joe, I was working on the footage from Salt Fork. So it's weird. I have to download it, then upload it to watch it on each thing. So once I download it and I go to the next one, I have to re-download it to watch it again. So I have to buy editing software to keep it downloaded to watch it because it's just a long story.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just aggravating. Y'all have any other questions? We still got a few more minutes left.
A little bit more minutes. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Kyle, for joining in. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we got the other show at 9 p.m. Eastern time with Angela. Yeah, don't give me a heart attack. So, yes, Brian, you got our prayers for tomorrow.
Yes.
So, absolutely.
But
and nice to see you too, Agent Smith. Go ahead, Kelly. I'm sorry, hon.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yes, absolutely. What are we supposed to do with the mirror? But no, the mirror is what my mom used to check out her grandmother, see if she passed, because she thought she passed during a storm when we lost power when I was a kid, because she was so old. But mirrors, people cover them up. Don't face mirror to mirrors in rooms. That's a no too.
Right, that causes portals.
Yeah. So, adios says thank you, Kelly. Everybody's thanking you there.
Brian Ness, he says, any idea? You have one test that you won't be happy with, but the doctor has your back and you'll be all right.
There you go, Brian. See, you'll be good to go. All right. What do my parents think of me doing photography? Can I ask that, Kelly Joe, please?
Yeah, they're very proud of you. You can. Have you ever thought of doing the black and white? You'd be excellent with the shadow and light.
Audio says Kelly Joe's a pretty name.
Well, thank you.
Photo says thank you, Kelly.
But photo, have you done black and white? Because you would be good at that.
Everybody's thanking
everybody. He said, wow, yeah, you'd be excellent with the black and white photograph. And I also see you with a coffee table book.
No black and white.
Look into it. You'll be excellent at it. And then I also see you doing structures.
Yeah, street photography.
Yeah, structures. That's what they're telling me. I'm glad you can know what I'm trying to say. Thank you for interpreting it.
Yeah, I just saw street photography.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, structures.
Mm-hmm. Family was on the ride in Small World. They rode a ton of times, end up missing. Hello, Kyle Smith. Don't forget our show at 9 o'clock. Photo says, wow. If a test I may not be happy with, it must be a colonoscopy. Brian. You crack me up. Audio. Hey, Kelly, Joe, I was wondering, should I go back to Florida? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, you'll go more to the panhandle.
Ooh, interesting. Amy says, I love structure photography. And everybody's saying thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget about the show tonight at 9 o'clock. And from coast to coast, around the world, everybody, we'll catch you soon. And let's see here. Find my right button here. And there we go. Well, I didn't hit it.